Hello again, friends. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate you helping the channel grow. Also, I apologise for the way I sound because I have a dose of the man flu. So I'll try and power through as best as I can. Now, in this video, I'm talking about Moygashel and that bonfire. Now, Moygashel, a little village in Northern Ireland where the good people have had enough of the nonsense, enough of the betrayal, enough of being treated like strangers in their own land. And what do? They build a bonfire, a glorious, towering bonfire, lit up like a beacon of defiance to say, we're done. It was literally a roaring middle finger to the elite who think they can shove their globalist fantasies down everyone's throats without a peep of resistance. Now, let's get one thing straight, shall we? This bonfire had an effigy of dinghy divers, or refugees, illegal migrants, call them what you will, on top, with a sign saying, stop the boats and veterans before migrants. And this doesn't mean that these people who built the bonfires want illegal migrants burned alive on top of a bonfire. That's not what it means. This has been a tradition now in Ulster for decades, and they've had all sorts of effigies on these bonfires, from the Pope to local politicians, etc. No one's given a peep about it until now. I wonder why. So it's been investigated as a hate crime, and the same people complaining about this didn't complain about what Kneecap said about unaliving your local Tory MP and tried to dress up what they said as artistic expression. So why isn't this artistic expression swings and roundabouts? Now, the Irish, north, south, green, orange, whatever, they aren't exactly known for sitting quietly when they're pushed around. History's got a few chapters on that, hasn't it? So when the fine folks of Moygashel look out their windows and see their community changing, not because they asked for it, mind you, or not because they voted for it either, but that's because some suit in a far-off office decided it's time for a grand social experiment. They don't just shrug and make a cup of tea. No, they stack the pallets, they light the match, and they send a message that echoes across the hills. This is our home, and we're not leaving it. And what's this about, you ask? Well, it's about the what the locals call invasion of unwanted foreigners, quote unquote. Now, before the perpetually offended start clutching their pearls and screaming bigots at their screens, let's use our brains for a second. This isn't about hating anyone. This is about people who've worked hard, paid their taxes, and built their lives in a tight-knit community, only to be told they've got to make room for folk who don't share their values, their culture, or their way of life. And no, they don't get to say in it either. That's not prejudiced. That's a perfectly reasonable response to being ignored by the very people who are supposed to represent you. You see, the powers that be love to lecture us about diversity and inclusion, but they never ask the working class communities who have to live with these consequences. They don't ask the people of Moygashel if they're okay with their schools overflowing, their clinics packed, or their streets feeling less like home. Oh no, that'd be too democratic, wouldn't it? Instead, they just open the gates, pat themselves on the back with their compassion, and leave the locals to deal with the fallout. And when these locals dare to protest, when they light a bonfire to say enough is enough, suddenly they're the villains. Funny how that works, isn't it? Now let's talk about that particular bonfire. Picture it. Flames licking the skies, sparks dancing like they're mocking the bureaucrats in Brussels and Belfast. The people of Moygashel aren't just burning wood. They're burning through the lies, the spin, the sanctimonious drivel that's been shoved at them for years. This isn't about violence or hate. It's about pride. Pride in their community, their heritage, their right to say, this is ours, and we're not giving it up without a fight. And if that offends the metropolitan elite sipping their oat milk lattes in London or Dublin, well, tough luck. Maybe they should try living in a place where their decisions actually have consequences. And here's the thing, the media will spin this, well, they already have, haven't they? They've called it a hate-filled protest or some other tired cliche. They won't tell you about the families who feel abandoned, the workers who can't get a doctor's appointment, or the kids who don't recognise their own neighbourhood anymore. No, they'll just slap a label on it and move on to the next virtue-signalling headline. But the people of Moygashel, they're not buying it. They're not bowing to the narrative. They're lighting fires and saying, we see you and we're not afraid. So hats off to Moygashel. Keep that fire burning, figuratively and literally. You're not just standing up for your village, just standing up for every community that's been sold out by politicians who care more about their image than their people. And to the rest of us watching, maybe it's time we took a page out of their book. Light a spark, raise a voice, and let the world know we're done being silent. So there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching. And until the next time, stay sane, stay free, and don't let the bastards grind you down. I'll see you at the next one. Roger Trout.